This is Mark Lazell and you're watching Sport and Icons.
Too bad. We're here in the Blaydon Park.
We are. Where dreams are made. This is where I grew up.
Yeah.
This is where I probably had my first street fight as well.
Yeah. I know we've got like Alan Shearer's house in the background just there.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be Alan Shearer. Maybe Bobby Shearer who has the mill.
Yeah. Is this where you grew up then, around here?
It is. All the area that I grew up in has now been knocked down, and they're just rebuilding new houses. But this is the whole.
It's quite a big part though.
It is. Most of the things get stolen or burnt out, but there's.
It keeps you tough though, doesn't it?
The pulley's been cut down. The swings have been cut down. We haven't got much, but we're made do with what we did have.
Yeah, well, there's like a plenty of firewood around here, so
yeah, exactly. That's it. Kept it warm.
That's it. So you've been keeping anywhere with like your training and that?
Good, really good. Just fortunately, I'm in a predicament. Obviously, being a professional athlete, that I'm still allowed to train. And me, obviously, manager and coach owns a gym. So I'm in a really fortunate predicament where I'm still able to train daily and carry on with what I was doing before lockdown during this, and you know, as I say, I'm blessed for that I can do that. And
yeah,
it's a bad time for a lot of people, especially with mental health and stuff. And I think the government definitely needs to, if there is another lockdown come the 2nd of November, December, they definitely need to look at opening gyms, because gyms are so many people's escape of anxiety, mental health, just an escape of reality, work, everything. So it's something they definitely need to look into if they do add to another lockdown about opening gyms.
Yeah, I thought I had it. I was just looking. There was a statistic about the gyms that with all like where people are catching the virus and things like that, the gyms are actually the lowest.
Yeah, seeing 3%.
Yeah.
The universities are 44%, and they've kept the universities open. But hey, listen, you know, it's we're going to sit here and slate the government for what they're doing. It's a tough time for everybody, not just the UK but the whole world. And you know, the way the government are reacting. Yes, it's in my opinion and other people's opinions it's wrong, in other people's opinions it'll be correct. So it's not something really we need to delve into. It's a tough job for anybody. You can't do things right, you can't do things wrong. You know, it's a really hard time for him. And personally, do I believe in what he's done is correct? No. But at the same time, how many people would have been annoyed who have been closed, pubs, petitions, all them type of things, if he did allow gyms to remain open? Would they be going, well, whoa, wait a minute, we're low as well. Our figures are down there as well, so why can't we remain open? So it could have been a massive argument, but I think the biggest argument is due to how much how much it you know has a reaction on people's mental health and stuff, the gyms, and how many people need that as an escape is the main thing. That, you know, getting your hair cut isn't going to help your anxiety or your mental health. Going and getting your eyebrows done or a new tattoo isn't going to help that, whereas the gyms is massively going to help that, and I think it's something we definitely need to look into.
Do you think that they should look at it as a gym by gym basis? I mean, like your gym at the Vision is everything is sanitary. There's petitions up. There's all kinds of things, whereas some other gyms may not be.
I don't think it's to look at, because I think as a gym, it's not up to the gym. The people who go to that gym are still going to be going for the same reason why I think gyms should be open, and that's because, as we know, you know, you don't just go to the gym to get fit. You don't just go to the gym, you know, to have a six-pack or have big muscles or big arms. The gym is an escape for so many people. Yeah. You know, mentally and physically, and you know, people could be suffering with body dysphoria, bulimia, that they don't even know about. It's all in there, and you know, the suicide rate is already at 200% more than it's ever been.
Bloody hell.
And you know, that statistic, whether or not that statistic's 100% spot on, or it's just a rumour, but you know, that statistic's being hied out there, that it's already at 200% more, and it's only going to rise. And I think opening the gyms back up, they'll see a massive decrease in suicide and not an increase in COVID. So there's only, personally, I think it's something that they have to do.
I suppose one little bonus is that it is better than the last lockdown, whereas at least you guys could still train like a professional athletes, boxers, footballers and that, whereas before you weren't even allowed even close to the gym, were you?
Yeah, but again, I'm blessed and I'm fortunate that I'm allowed to do that. But there's still millions and millions of people who aren't, so it's good for me, 100%, and it's good for professional athletes. But what makes me different to the average Joe who, you know, works in Tesco, who drives a bus, who drives an ambulance, you know, what gives me the privilege to do that? Why am I allowed to train, but the average Joe who comes from a 9 to 5 isn't allowed to train?
It's a fair comment.
You know, as I say, I'm blessed that I'm able to do that, but realistically, why can I do that and someone else not?
Yeah.
It's ludicrous in my opinion. But I just hope that he does it for people's own sanity, really.
Well, speaking of gyms, you had your first spar yesterday.
Yeah.
For quite some time.
Well, would have been since the Simon Vallely-Wardley fight. So you're talking 5 months.
Yeah.
5 months.
How was it?
Yeah, fine. Reactions were a little bit slower. Planting a bit too much on my front foot, leaning forward. Just mistakes that I knew were going to be there with ring rust. 2-3 rounds, that sort of started to blow off, and I started to get into my rhythm a lot more. Fitness wise, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Fitness wise, I felt great. Shoulders weren't burning out. Me lungs stayed well. My heart stayed well. So that was the test, whether or not my lungs and heart will be able to hack it rather than my actual body. And they felt great. So I'm happy with that. That all the cardio and what have you that we're doing, and the pad work and everything, sort of transitioning over to sparring, which doesn't normally happen because you can't replicate sparring. There's nothing in the gym you can do. You could run 10 mile a day and do 400 rounds on the pads and get in there and not know what, when somebody's jabbing the head off you and coming at you and you're having to think about things. Nothing replicates sparring. So I'm happy that I got the rounds in. I'm happy that I managed to get as many of rounds in, and I'm looking forward to what's to come.
You like fighting, though, don't you?
Yeah.
You miss fighting.
I definitely. I mean, if somebody says to me, what do you miss most about boxing, what do you miss most, 100% be sparring and fighting. I mean, for me, there's again nothing can replicate that sense of achievement when you come, even sparring, when you finish 6 rounds of spars and you just both walk up to each other and give each other a cuddle and you're exhausted, or you've done 10 rounds or however many rounds you've done, the sense of achievement that you're getting through that, and you've pushed someone on, they've pushed you on, and you're helping someone, they're helping you. And then when it comes to fighting, I mean, there's nothing comes close to the buzz you get off that.
Do you get accustomed to getting punched in the guts and jabbed in the face?
Well, I do, because I don't slip. I've got to, yeah. I don't think you'll ever get accustomed to it. I don't think you speak. I've read stories on journeymen who literally have nerve damage in the face, so they don't feel things. They're numb. A good body shot, there's nothing you can do with a good body shot. If you get underneath the floating rib or you get in the solar plexus correctly when they're breathing, they're going down. Doesn't matter how much ab work someone does, the soft spots in the body, and that's going to put, even if it makes you take a knee. You see it in boxing all the time. I mean, from middleweight up to heavyweight. Look at the Lucas Brown stoppage earlier with Dave Allen. He's probably done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sit-ups before that, countless amounts of ab work, countless amounts of medicine balls off the stomach and all that, and it's all good, it all replicates something, but you take something in the soft spot and you're going down. Same as the head, same as the jaw. I can sit and joke on saying I've got an iron jaw and I've got a face-to-fist style, but listen, it takes only a certain amount of pressure to hit there or underneath there, and you're going to go down. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how big your neck is, it doesn't matter how, you know, how good your jaw is. You're going to go down at one stage, and I mean, touch wood, hopefully it doesn't happen. But will it happen? Can it happen? Of course. Don't mean to say will it happen. Can it happen? Yes, of course. And I'm not stupid to think that. But I joke on talking about my chin and jaw, and like you say, do you become accustomed to it? No. I'll wake up the next day with a bad head and a bad jaw, and I'll think, I've got this again on Friday, but it's fun. It's part of the sport.
Now, what I mean is, it's like, also I spoke with you like many times, and like many other boxers as well. It's like when you get punched in the face, it's a different reaction to what if I get punched in the face.
But it wouldn't be though, because if you look back to cavemen and in the psychology side of things, and you look into fight or flight, you know, that's where it comes from. You may think, as a human, you may think, well, if I got punched in the face, I wouldn't like it, but you've got a split second to react to that person. You're standing in town with your missus, smoking a cigarette, and some man comes and punches you from the side for no reason. You know, you've got two things: you either fight or you run. And as a person, as a character, you're going to choose one of them. Now, that defies you as a person, but most of will fight back. And you know, it's the same as a boxing.
You voluntarily do it though.
Yeah, I do. But because it's people voluntarily jump out of an aeroplane naked with a parachute strapped to the back. It's a buzz that I can't explain. You know, people will say, what do you get out of it? Why do you do it? Why do people go skydiving? Why do people, you know, jump out of an aeroplane? Why do people go paragliding, abseiling? It's an adrenaline buzz that I haven't found from anywhere else other than the boxing ring, and it spurs us on. It inspires us to train harder, to become harder, to work on things, and you know, it's every single spar is a learning curve for us. Why did I get caught with that uppercut? Why did I get caught with that left hook? In every spar that I do, I'll look back and I'll go home on the night time or wherever I am, and I'll sit and I'll think 5-6 hours. Why did I do that? Why did I get caught with that? Why's my forehead hurting? Why, you know, and I'll work on things and I'll look into things, and I'm just. But that's me as a character. I mean, I suppose everyone's different, but it's definitely an adrenaline buzz that I won't get from anything.
I never had that reaction when Joe Laws punched me in the face. I never had that. No.
Maybe you're the flight guy on the.
I was like, where's those ropes?
Psychology spectrum. Maybe you're the person who would run from that line. But yeah, it definitely stems back to the whole fight or flight with the caveman thing. I think as a human, you've got two options, and you know, you'll either run or you'll stand and you'll go toe to toe with somebody.
Speaking of fighting, next week you're going to be sparring a very, very popular fighter.
Yeah, some good news today. Hughie Fury's fighting Mariuz Wach. Mariuz Wach, someone who I've previously sparred with.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Down with the Cash Ali camp when Cash Ali fought David Price. So I've sparred Mariuz. He's a little bit taller than me, but you know, only an inch or so. So Peter's been on the phone to my coach and manager Mark, and getting that put into place for what to go down Monday for a month. So I'm looking forward to going down there and being part of the camp. And I think we're going to be sparring 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, and then during the downtime obviously we'll just be padding, training. So it'll be good to have a different coach and, you know, work on different things and see what they pick up and learn with them and be part of the camp and train with them for a month, and you know, it'll be good.
With a very skillful fighter, isn't he? You're going to be
very good.
On your toes a lot on that.
Yeah, I mean he's just constant. You know, whenever you watch him fight, when you see, and he's never been stopped. And he's fought Povetkin, he's fought Parker. Do you know what I mean? And he is just a non-stop sort of, you know, on the back foot, on the front foot, and just slick. And he's similar, I suppose, to his cousin, just not as sort of high at that level. But could he get
That's the same kind of height as you, isn't he? Like a height, I mean.
Height, I think so. I think he's around about 6'6", yeah. I think. We'll see on Monday.
Yeah. Is Mark going with you?
Mark's going to come on Monday and watch the first spar, and then he's heading back home. And then he'll come down when he can. So it's 6 o'clock on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday night. So he's going to try and get down. If he can't, I mean, Peter's already told Mark I'll be very well looked after. And
yeah.
I'm sure, you know, everyone's been in my position where they haven't, you know, they're going down somewhere by themselves and on you. I'm sure Peter and Hughie's been part of that before, and they'll know what's going on. So they'll look after us. I know they will.
Well, you'll have a fella northeasterner in your corner if necessary in Savannah.
Savannah, yeah.
WBO World Middleweight Champion.
She'll move down, and you know, she seems to be loving it down there as well. So, you know, who knows what happens after the 4-week spars?
Yeah.
Something might come of it. So, and listen, Mark would never ever hold me back. If there's bigger things down there, more sparring down there, more money down there, more fighting down there, I know Mark as a character, and I know Mark as a person. They'll say to her, get yourself away. He'd never ever hold us back or anything like that.
Sporting Icons is not down there though.
Yeah, but you can come down. You'd be more than welcome down whenever, anytime.
Yeah. Have you met Peter and Hughie now before?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
No. I was meant to spar Hughie. A while ago with Martin Piccoli, but it never come off. So I ended up just going back up to Scotland to spar Martin. It never really come off. Don't know why, but so it's not something I don't know if Peter was there when I sparred Nathan. I'm not sure if Peter was there then.
Do you know who else is going to be there?
I don't. I think he was telling Mark he's looking for 3 or 4 to do 4 rounds each with them. So I think it'll be very similar to the Cash Ali David Price camp. There'll be 4 fresh people, sort of similar height to me. So they normally bring people over from overseas for that type of, you know, you've got people who are just sparring partners. Whereas with me, I'm not going down to be a sparring partner. I'm going down to show someone what I've got and show someone, you know, this is the level where I'm at. Am I going to just, you know, if I get told, because I've been sparring before where I've been told, okay, what you need to do is you need to just do this. If that happens, it's not for me. I'm not going down there to, you know, I'll help anybody out, but at the same time I need to do it for me. I need to see where I'm at, and I need to, you know, work for myself and work on myself, and that's what I'll be using it for. Now, am I willing to be down there for a month and just be told, okay, this is what you need to do, and they're going to do this, and you're going to put them on the back foot, and they're going to... Definitely not. I've been in camps like that where I've walked out and there's a very big name who likes to do that, which I'm not going to say, but he likes that type of sparring, and it's just not for me.
Yeah, no, that's good though, and I'm pretty sure that Hughie and Peter wouldn't want that anyway. They want you in there to do what you can against him.
Definitely. definitely. That's what I'm saying. I can't see them wanting that type of sparring. It's very limited to the people that want that type of sparring. And why they go for that, I don't know. Why people choose to do that type of sparring, I don't know. But there are people out there who likes that, and they think that that works for the individual. So that's fine. But I think Peter's a very, very educated boxer. I think he will, you know, what's happening and where we're going to go from that. I think, like you say, he'll just be saying, right, you're four. That's that. Yeah. That's it. Do what you need to do. You know, that's how it's going to be.
It's going to be an experience, that's for sure. It's going to be good for you. Definitely. And I'm hoping bigger things come from this. You know, I'd love to be part of camps every month. I'm blessed to be sponsored full time and be able to do this. You know, so. And I can't thank the sponsors enough who allow us to go to these camps. Even the people who don't fund us financially, even just the people who, you know, offer us food, and Spoonhead who give us me meals, so I can take me meals down with us as well. So I'm not worrying about having to go out and buy food and cook food, and everything's just there for, you know, everything's just there. And I'm in a fortunate enough position where I'm able to do that. So I'm hoping bigger things, like I say, come from this camp. And it opens up a lot of doors, and it opens up Mark's eyes to say, right, he's done a month of sparring now. He's had 12 spars. You know, he's done X amount of rounds. Let's look to where do we take him next? Who's the next big fight? You know, come January, February. Who's going to be fighting then? Who's Joshua got? Who's you know, Dillian White got? Who's Usyk got? Who's Chisora got? Who I want to be in with these big names, and you know, if anybody's fighting anybody of my sort of size, stature, anybody who's fighting Joshua, you know, who's Joshua's next opponent, I'm hoping, like I say, this'll open doors and get us in with other camps. Yeah, you're right. I think it's about like building a resume and a bit of a reputation as well.
Yeah.
So you do get phone calls from other gyms and that, because I mean, up here, while of course you do have some good heavyweights now, the bulk of them are down south.
100%. That's why I'm saying it. If something big comes of this camp, and you know, Peter comes out and says, right, you know, we're willing to take you on, and we've got X amount of heavyweights, you'll spar full time with Hughie, and then we'll go down there and spar him, you've got Joyce, you've got Dubois, you've got Joshua, you've got everybody sort, and then you've got the up and comers who are all in that sort of region. From London up to Manchester is where it all happens, and from Manchester to Newcastle, who is there? Really? You've got Whittaker in Yorkshire, you've got Piccoli in Scotland, who's sort of having to travel all the time, and then which other heavyweights? You've got somebody, Mitchell Barton, who's waiting for his first one. He's down Henry Wharton's gym in York. I fought him in the ABAs, England versus Scotland. So you have got a couple of people, but you're probably limited to 6 people. And then up here, Simon. I don't know if Simon's making a comeback. I've got Declan, who's obviously just turned over pro. So, and it's good. It's good if that's all I can get. Great. Do you know what I mean? If that's the only thing, it's like living in a village and there only being one pub, you know, out in the sticks. You become accustomed to that pub, you become sick of that pub, and you want to venture out. So you jump in a taxi and then you go to the nearest village and you pay for a hotel. And that's where I'm at with my boxing at the minute. It's good to have what I've got, and it's fantastic that I do get a bit of sparring in, but is it gonna bring us to the next level, the sparring that I've got in the northeast? No, it's not. And that's nothing against the people who I'm sparring. nothing at all, but it's reality, and it's not going to bring us up to the next level. Now, to get to that next level, I need to be sparring people who are at that level now, and I need to be doing, like I say, 3 days, three times a week sparring with these people in these camps, and saying, right, I've done this sparring, I've held my own against them, give us 2 more fights and then I'm going to do this. Mark's always going to be my manager, and he's always going to direct us in the right place, and you know, all this is going to do is hopefully open doors, because Peter's obviously got a massive name in the boxing. His family's got a massive name in the boxing, and I'm just hoping that this opens a few doors, and it allows, you know, my name to be put out there and word of mouth spread around. Oh, there's a heavyweight, you know, he's just come and done 4 weeks with our Hughie, and right, what you call, all right, Mark, well.
Peter's a fantastic trainer though, and it'd be good to receive critique from him, as well as this is what you're doing right, maybe improve on this. And
definitely, and I mean, for me, positive criticism is the best thing in the world. Criticism is the best thing in the world, because it just pushes me so much to where I want to be, and it makes us sort of want to really go at something. And you know, when I'm told you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, it spurs me on to make sure that I get that right. I'm a perfectionist at what I do, you know, at anything.
Yeah.
And I want to be the best I can at what I do. And you know, bless you. If somebody, you know, if for instance, you'll have seen on my Instagram, I've been posting daft things like how many deadlifts I can do in a minute, how many meters I can row on a rowing machine in a minute, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and that's just off people who are messaging us on Instagram going, oh, I got this on a challenge last night, and that'll spur me to go and compete against them. I don't even know these people, I don't even know, you know, but I've just got that mentality. I've always had that mentality, and I just want to push myself to the best I can get to, and you know, I think that I can do it as well.
What's the inspiration for, you mentioned your Instagram, for Marion Gaston and Marion Ariel?
Yeah, well, Ariel's going to be my next tattoo, but if I can meet a real life Ariel, that would be ideal.
Fantastic.
Gaston and Ariel.
Oh, why not? So, have you been following the boxing news recently? Have you seen all the excuses from Wilder?
Yeah, but listen, I seen Tyson posting a thing saying, listen, you know, if you need to speak to us, you're obviously suffering a lot from mental health. If you need to speak to us, I'm one call away. It's the whole David here with Klitschko with his toe and stuff. You just look like a dick. Sorry for swearing. You just admit defeat. You'll be accepted as a man, and be, you know, have a lot more credit for just saying I got beat by the better man, and that's that.
Like Joshua did, like Dillian White did.
Yeah. Why did he get beat? Wasn't good enough on the day. Simple. Not because the suit I was wearing was too heavy. Then he messed with his gloves. Then he spiked his water. It's just, you know. Do you know what it is with Fury as well? They've tried to do him over a few times. They sent him to Germany to fight Klitschko. You know, he brought the titles back. They made the ring different to what he was meant to be in. They've done two layers of extra padding, which, you know. Then they made him wear gloves that he wasn't meant to wear. He asked for the grants, and they didn't have the grant. And you know, do I see Fury being a cheat? Not at all. They've tried to cheat him a million times over. He's been to Germany, brought the title back. He's been to America, got a daft draw, and then when he went and fought him again, he beat him. It's just admit defeat. You'll be accepted as a man 10 times more by just holding your hands up and saying, I got beat.
I know it's like unlikely, but if you were to say get an offer from Wilder to fight him, would there be like part of you that go, but if I beat you, you'll just character assassinate me.
Me personally, would I fight Wilder?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, you would?
Well, what? I'd go in there and I'd go, what have I got to lose? What? I get beat and people are going to go, oh well, he beat somebody who was 3-0.
Yeah.
I beat him, everybody's going to go, Jesus, who's this Stephen Robinson?
Yeah, but then he'll say, but you had loaded gloves and your trainer spiked his water.
He can do, and I'd say, well, yeah, but I still beat you if your water's been spiked. But no, I think like people will say to us, would you fight Joshua for $1 million? I'd fight Joshua for 30 grand because it's going to get us out there.
Shit, I'd fight Joshua for $1 million. Fucking hell.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You get these questions on via social media, and they say, do you think you'd last around with Joshua? Do you think you'd last around? And you get them all the time, and it's like, as I was saying before, it's that fighter's mentality. I'd fight Joshua there on the green for now, because that's me in my head, and that's why I need Mark and Giuseppe to go, no, you're not ready. But if Joshua rang us and says, yeah, I want to straighten her down Blaydon Green, I'll just say, right there.
There it is.
This is my territory. You'll not be there because I know there's a wheelie bin there that I can pick up and hit off your head. But no, seriously though, that's just the way I've been brought up in my mentality. It's got nothing to do with disrespect or nothing to do with think that I would beat anybody who's higher up, because I'm not saying that, but I'd fight them. 100%.
No, I mean, I was just thinking about the excuses if you beat him.
Yeah,
I mean, any kind of opponent that he's going to approach now, they're going to have that.
Well, look at his second fight with Louis Ortiz, 7th round. He got stunned with a left hook. Yeah. Referee jumped in, the bell went. Referee jumped in. Come out in the 8th round, he was still a bit shaky. In
the first fight, yeah.
The first fight. The referee runs over, stops him, and sends him to the doctor. Why?
Yeah.
For what for? For a cut that he didn't have. The doctor then looks, checks him, and he's cut, and the cut that's not there gives him an extra. I know it's only 10 seconds, but trust me, if your brain's scrambled, 10 seconds is a massive amount, especially when you've got somebody who's 18 stone, hiring massive southpaw hooks at you. Like Ortiz, and that 10 seconds, give him that time just to relax, his brain to relax, for him to get his vision back, and get everything back, and he went on to win the fight. Now he can't talk about anybody being mollycoddled, because he fought 36 nobodies.
Yeah.
And goes on about his record. Just accept defeat, and that's that. Just be a man, accept defeat, accept you got beat off the better man, and just that's that.
Well, that's what I said, and I use you as an example. If they gave you the first 30 odd opponents that Wilder fought, you'd have that kind of record too.
I would hope so. I shouldn't be boxing if I didn't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's good to know that there is somebody out there that's willing to fight Wilder. There you go, Steve Robinson. Give him a call.
It's 100%. Lies, I'll fight him. I'll fight him over in America or over here, wherever. Mark might not be happy with it, but I'll fight him. I'll fight him. Even if I have to sack Mark, I'll fight him. Give us a payday.
Damn right. Have we missed anything?
No, just picking up on where we left off and talking about Monday, and like I say, I'm looking forward to Monday, and I'll hopefully be able to keep you informed through that, and maybe even you and Mark come down. You'll have to sit in the back seat with your masks on now. But it would be good to get you down if you could, and interview with both. So
that'd be good.
Something we could maybe sort out. But yeah, just people I get asked a lot, when's your next fight? Who's your next fight? I wish I could answer. I wish I could answer. Funny enough, me and Mark spoke about it today, and I've said to him, I'm done with 4 rounders. My next one's going to be a 6 rounder. I want 1 or 2 warm-up 6-rounders, and then that's me done. I'm starting to call people out. You know, the likes of Nick Webb and stuff, and people who are up there, and even Fabio Wardley. It'll be interesting to see, you know, what he does with Lucas Brown.
That's cancelled now.
Ah, is it?
Yeah, Brown pulled out.
So I wonder if Dave Allen will step in then. Dave
Good
Allen
call,
was
yeah.
saying on his live the other day that he would like to fight for the English title because it puts him in line for the British. So
Good point.
maybe that's something that I didn't know Lucas had pulled out. But anyway, you know, like I say, of course I want to blow the cobwebs off. 100%. Doesn't matter how many rounds of sparring I do, I want to blow the cobwebs off. Then this is when I'm going to step in and say, right, give us Babbage, give us whoever. What?
Different weight division now, though.
Yeah, well, what's happening with that? Because there's only the WBC accepted it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're still waiting on the WBO, WBA, and
I don't think
IBF.
they will.
Then
the British Boxing Board haven't.
Then Fury will be a champion on his own, then, won't he?
Yeah, there's. I mean,
as in like Joshua, he couldn't defend it against a WBC ranked opponent.
No, I don't. Like I say, I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how.
224 pounds, so it's an increase.
Stone.
Yeah.
I could make that.
You have to diet a bit, wouldn't you?
238 at the minute. So 70 stone. Nah,
you don't do that.
But yeah, I don't know what the situation with that weight division is. But listen, get us anybody who's 3, 4, 5 and 0. I'm more than happy to go in against. Do you know what I mean? It's a make or break for me. If I get beat off somebody 4 or 5 and 0, right, great. Go and get a full-time job and I've got my degree and I know boxing's not for me. Is that going to happen? No, because I'm mentally switched on up there. I want it more than anybody, and I work harder than anybody, and I just, you know, I want this, and I'm willing to go. I'm willing to do anything to get this, and that's that. And
it's a loss of learning, though. Loss could be seen as learning, though, couldn't it?
It could, but you know, Do you know? I have this conversation, and funnily enough, Ricky Hatton spoke to us when I went down there and sparred Nathan, and he says the beauty with you is a lot of people think when you start boxing late it's bad. He says, but it's not, because you haven't got the nails on your knees, you haven't got the nails on your ankles, you haven't got the nails on your knuckles, you haven't got the nails on your shoulders. He says the amount of boxers that pull out with rotator cuff injuries, that pull out with hamstring injuries, ankle injuries, knee injuries, can't run anymore, can't do this, can't do that. He says is unbelievable. He says whereas with you started at 24 and you haven't got the miles in the clock. He says in everything you've learned is from one trainer and it's all fresh. He says there's not one trainer telling you this, one trainer telling you that one. So in my head I thought, well, can I do it starting late? Can I get there? And you know, when you hear things like that of someone as big as Ricky Hatton, it makes you think, well, yeah, I can, and he's right. You know, Lawrence Osoko said it yesterday. He says the good thing with you, Stephen, he says you haven't got the miles like all of us. So
that's true as well, because you didn't have an extensive amateur career. You had a decent one.
No.
Was it 40 fights?
42 fights.
42 fights.
In 4 years, really.
So you don't have the habits of an amateur.
Nah. And even as an amateur, I boxed like a pro.
Okay.
Because Mark says when you need to turn you pro, you don't box like an amateur. I start too slow. I'm the most laid back person you'll ever come across, and I've always been that way. And in all my fights, I just cruise through the first round, work them out, pick them off, have a think about things, make them think about things. And in the pros and in the amateurs, you haven't got time to do that.
Except for your first two first round knockouts, you started pretty fast there, though.
Yeah. But even like my fourth one, my third one, I'm glad I got that in, because there's a lot of people again who, you know, could watch that and say, well, he couldn't even put him down. He obviously doesn't punch that hard, and I get that. I get there's going to be critics out there, and you know, keyboard warriors who sit in corners, and that's fine. But at the same time, I'm glad I got them 4 rounds, and I'm glad I was able to see, you know, what I
building up rounds helps for the future though. If you keep on having like 1 round knockouts, eventually when you're done and you know, you're getting pinged back 6-7 rounds in, you're like, hang on a minute.
You need you know, people are comfortable with, they don't have a second wind, or they don't like to get out their comfort zone. Whereas with me, I'll never sit in my comfort zone. You know, for me, there's two types of people. There's people who are happy to sit in the cruise level, and there's people who want to get past cruise level. And for me, I'll never be in cruise level. I never want to be in cruise level. I always want to exceed that, and I'll always want to push myself further. And I've watched that Phil Williams fight probably 60 times, and I've critiqued myself so much. Why didn't I hire more punches? Why did I only hire 84 punches in the first round? Why didn't I do this? When I hit him in the body, why didn't I step across and hire this? Why was I leaning over my front foot? Why did I get caught in the second round with that?
But he outmanned you though, in the sense of he was golding you.
But again, that's a learning curve, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I reacted to him winding us up, laughing at us, saying, come on, hit us harder. I ended up falling over my front foot because he was in. I ended up hiring stupid shots in where he's caught us with 6 shots. Should he have caught us with them shots? No, not in a million years. Should a journeyman who's had won 2 fights be catching me? Not at all, but he did. So it's why did he? And that's when I sort of critique myself and work that out and, you know, watch it. Bart Simpson.
Yes, some lad, he's doing a bit of skateboarding there. I don't know where he's doing it just to piss us off.
We'll call it a day anyway, cause,
we'll turn us off and we'll go kick shit out of him for.
Yeah, we'll spoil it. And plus, my nipples are massive, so I have to go.
I can see that.
Get some food out when we see you there.
All right, Steve. Be good.
Perfect. Thank you.